Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good day, sir. My name is Omaira D. Ali Musa. I'm your student from BPA 100 DD section. Why study the public administration? Our Module 1 topic is Introduction to the Field of Public Administration. The possibility weak it is that public administration could turn into a tyrannous leviathan is reason enough to justify its study. Ceaseless vigilance is necessary to prevent political usurpation, abuse of disciplinary power, and maladministration. The existence of a well-informed body of public opinion, but opinion not only constitutes a safeguard against bureau pathology in public administration, but also acts as a corrective to distorted images and false charges. Ignorance of public administration leaves the citizen dependent on officialdom on the impartiality, honesty, efficiency, and correctness, and on knowledge middle who may favor officialdom against the best interests of the clientele, even if the intermediaries are trustworthy, economical, and unavoidable, because the citizen does not have the time to competence, or the issues are so complicated that professional specialization is required. There are so many occasions when the citizen must come into a direct contact with public administration and should know how to act. More people are now finding employment in the public sector, and presumably they are obliged to learn more about the work environment as a matter of course. Possibly, they might improve their professional capacity and acquire new skills useful not only within their own administration but assistance of other administration too. To summarize, the following are the reasons why study public administration. Number 1, to stress the ability to speak and write effectively, clearly, precisely, and concisely. Number 2, to develop intellectual research and practical tools. Number 3, to acquaint the student with the literature of the field. Number 4, to promote an awareness of the importance of public administration, its operation, traditions, embodied values, and trends. Number 5, to link the discipline with other disciplines, show the connection between them, and compare and contrast their different approaches. Number 6, to emphasize realism, the pragmatic empirical foundation of the subject matter, and the dynamic nature of public administration. Number 7, to educate for intelligent citizenship, to promote to increase a participation in public affairs, to create a better understanding of the national culture and dominant social values, and to develop future public leaders. Number 8, to prepare students for public employment by encouragement and inspiration, guidance in the values of the administrative acquaintance with public administration. Nature of public administration. Public administration is electric and multidisciplinary. The practice of public administration is pervasive and inescapable. Public administration is culture-bound or inevitably ethnonormative. Public administration is dynamic and never static. Broader perspective of public administration. From a very broad perspective, public administration may be viewed to refer not only those activities involved in carrying out to implementing the policies and programs of the government, but also the process and contents of those policies. In an even broader perspective, public administration may refer to cooperative human action, whether within the public bureaucracy, the private sector, the NGO, at delivering services to the people. The goals of public administration: pursuing public goods and services, ensuring efficiency and effective delivery of public services, improving the quality of life, promoting social justice and equity, transparency and accountability, accessibility along the way in the business of public service. Connotations, scope, or concerns of public administration: management of government organization, provision of public goods and services, coordination of individual and group efforts to carry out and give effect to public policy for the fulfillment of common objectives, and lastly, governance for the public interest. Importance note: the amalgamation of the goals and connotation of public administration is corollary to the content of public administration. Our Module 2 is the evolution of the field of public administration. In order to properly appreciate the context of Philippines public administration, it may helpful to retrace the history and evolution of the broad discipline and examine the various strands and influences that have influenced the theory and practice, the praxis of public administration in the Philippines. We shall also examine the specific areas and fields of public administration in the Philippines. We shall also examine the specific areas and fields of specialization of the field, taking organization of the many other emerging fields of going beyond the traditional fields of public administration. Traditional and classical public administration. Public administration can be traced back to human history. It has been suggested that it is as old as the ancient empires of China, India, Egypt, Greece, Rome, and Mesopotamia. The institutionalization of administrative capacity for collective purposes is the foundation of public administration. Such arrangement, according to Kaiden 1982, has existed in all societies. All societies are devoted to advancing the general welfare or the public interest. The idea that public administration should not be considered administration of the public, but administration for the public has been practiced and expressed in the Code of Hammurabi, in Confucianism, and in the funeral oration of Pericles, Kaiden 1987. In other words, the idea of client-oriented public administration has its roots in ancient public administration. Our Module 3 is the public administration as public administration. Paradigm. Number 1. The politics administration dichotomy 1900 and 1926. The area of politics administration dichotomy marked the beginning of public administration as a discipline. Its emerge was a result of administrative reform movement in the USA at the time where was rampant graft and corruption in government. The predominant objective that underlies its emerge was the search for civil service reforms that will free administration from the spoils system. Paradigm number 2, the principles of administration, 1927 to 1937. The principles of public administration was first conceptualized and advocated by Henry Fayol. However, the principles were first advocated in public administration literature by W.F. Willingly when he wrote his book entitled Principles of Administration that was published in 1927. This because second fully-fledged text in the field of public administration. Number 3, Public Administration as Political Science, 1950 to 1970. As a result of the various criticism against paradigm 1 and 2, and in view of the inclusion of public policy as a field of study in public administration returned to their previous alias, the political scientist. Number 4, Public Administration as Administrative Science, 1956 to 1970. The term administrative science, as mentioned by Nicholas, is cut-all praise for students in organization theory and behavior, and program effectiveness was the primary focus during which means that focus was given more attention rather than locus. Number 5, Public Administration as Public Administration, 1970. It is quite clear that even during the period of paradigm number 4, public administration was already showing its seeds of self-identity. Letter A, Classical Bureaucratic Theories. Classical bureaucratic theories, it is continued to dominate the teaching in the most countries claiming to be democratic, including the Philippines. It views organization as social system in which power and authority flow from the top downward through a hierarchy, and accountability flows from the bottom upward. Letter B, Human Relation Theories. Human relation theories is a school of thought, or others call it behavioralism, views organization as a group which is concerned with quality of life of individual workers within the organization. The unit of analysis shifted from the structure of organization to the individual worker. Letter C, Modern Organizational Theories. Modern organizational theories, administrative theories formulated and conceptualized after the human relations schools of thought, or categorized in this paper as modern organizational theories. Are greatly influenced by the classical bureaucratic theory and the human relations school of thought. Our module 4 is the functional areas in public administration. Traditional subfields of political science. Political theory. It is a study and analysis of political ideas of significant political thinkers. It is also a search of knowledge of political thoughts of various historical periods, namely ancient, medieval, Christian, and modern period. International relations and politics. As a subfield of political science, international relations have zeroed in on the relation between and among nation states and how such relations are defined. Power has always been traditionally considered a factor in the determination of international relations and politics. Comparative politics. Comparative politics, it is a study of contemporary politics and political trends in selected countries and regions around the world, and then comparing and critically analyzing the variety of ways that these countries have chosen to shape their political institutions and processes. Public administration. Public administration is a discipline emerged out of a broader discipline, which this is a measure enough to be treated separately or independently of its mother. Traditional subfields of public administration. Organization and management organization as one of the oldest subfields of public administration. It basically focuses on sub-areas like organization theory and the variety of ways that these countries have chosen to shape their political institution and processes. Public administration. Public administration is a discipline emerged out of a broader discipline, which this is a measure enough to be treated separately or independently of its mother. Traditional subfields of public administration. Organization and management organization as one of the oldest subfields of public administration. It basically focuses on sub-areas like organization theory and practices dynamics of organization, decision-making, and administration, leadership, and other sub-areas. Public personnel administration. Public administration consists of administrative processes. It involves people, its most important element. Therefore, public personnel administration is an equally important field. Public fiscal administration. Public finance belongs to the branch of economics, but that was during the earlier times. With the emerge of the field of public administration, much interest has been detected towards fiscal administration. Local government administration. This another distinct subfields of public administration. In studying local government administration, the concept of decentralization are taken into account. New subfields of public administration. Policy analysis and program administration. Policy, it is a post-war years saw the emergence of public policy as a subfield of public administration. In the U.S., interest in policy studies started in 1950s. Public enterprise management. Privatization is one of the foci of this area of public administration. Other topics include the nature and processes of public enterprises, the relationship between the government and the public enterprise sector, issues on managerial autonomy, public accountability, corporate social responsibility, and the role of the state in the economy. Voluntary sector management. Voluntary sector management is another emerging field of public administration in recognition of the growing voluntary sector in the Philippines. UP and CPAG has pioneered is offering voluntary sector management as a field of specialization. Spatial information management. In delivering public goods and services efficiently and effectively, it is very important that we will be aided with support tools enabling the use of all kinds of spatial data or information. Development theories, models, meaning of development, indicators, assumption, and strategies are topic in Module 5. Modernization theories. These theories basically assume that agrarian countries in Asia, Africa, and Latin America, or the Third World, are backward, underdeveloped, and therefore have to emulate and catch up with the growing modernization of countries in Europe and America, and eventually transform into a modern industrial state or society. B. Dependency theories and the neo-economic development model. Basic assumption assumes that the measure of the third world countries, also known as the underdeveloped countries, arise from a capital international system composed of rich industrialized countries that exploits them and keep them dependent. The exploitation is perpetrated by transnational corporations or multinational corporations based on industrialized countries, their government, as well as by the World Bank, International Monetary. Letter C, Multi-Dimensional Model of Development by Mikhail Todora. Development process is multidimensional, involving fundamental changes of an entire social system from a condition or unsatisfactory life situation which is regarded as a material and spiritual better. Letter D, towards another development by the Dag Hammarskjöld Foundation. The kind of development brought about by the economic-centered development process does not respond to the needs of the population, particularly in the third world. Development effort must take heed of the following principles. Sustainable development, presented in 1987 by the World Commission for Environment and Development in its report entitled Our Common Future. It recognizes that society is differentiated into three realms: economy, which are interacting and implementing components of an integral society to the ensure of life-enhancing development process. That's all, sir. Thank you.